Again, my name is Kwame from Sirius XM Heart and Soul, and we are here to support an R&B artist by the name of Vivian Green. Y'all show some love for Vivian Green. She's been doing her thing since around 2002 with the emotional roller coaster. Y'all remember that? Yeah, man, and now she got the new thing. So we're gonna talk about all of that, the career, the new album that's about to come out in August called Vivid. We're gonna get into all of that, and you guys get some good questions together too, because you'll get an opportunity to ask some questions as well, okay? All right? All right, without further ado, y'all show your love, put your hands together for Vivian Green.
Hi, Kay.
Hello.
How are you?
Good, how you doing?
I'm good.
Good, have a seat, let's
Hi,
talk.
everybody.
So how you doing?
I'm good.
Good. You look vivid and bright.
No, you look vivid, Kay.
Yeah. That's what Bobby said. You put on your sherbet today. I had to put on my sherbet.
Cayman is always clean, though. Cayman has been such a big supporter of me since the very beginning. So, we crack on each other. We're like brother and sister, so don't mind us.
Yeah, you got to support good music. You came out the gate with some good music, and I'm very appreciative of your artistry.
Thank you.
As well. So, let's take it back and talk about the beginning.
Okay.
With you growing up in Philly and your introduction to music.
So my parents listened to Motown. So that's the music that I listened to from a very, very small child. That's the earliest music that I remember is the Motown sound. The Jackson 5, Stevie Wonder, the Dinah Ross and the Supremes. Like that's what, I swear I knew all those songs before I was 6. I knew them all word for word. So that was the first music that I listened to.
Okay.
So that's where it all started, at Motown.
So from there, what was the move from there?
I think from there, once I began to have my own, once I was able to listen to music on my own, I started listening to a lot of jazz, Ella Fitzgerald, Sarah Vaughan, got into a lot of Tina Turner, and 70s music, which I love as well. So I love everything. And in the 80s, I got into like soft rock. It's weird. It's everywhere. My taste is definitely not in a box. And I think that's the most difficult part about being in the music industry, is that you have to be in this box that they put you in when there's so many things that I've done in the studio that you guys will never hear because it doesn't fit into my genre, So, but I love all kinds of music.
Is this stuff that you actually have recorded?
Yeah, oh, absolutely, yeah.
Really? So why wouldn't you ever just put it out there?
A label wouldn't even approve it to come out, because you have to make the music that your fans want to hear.
But could you do it yourself?
I could do it myself, but I want people to buy it.
Yeah, look. But if you took the time to record it, if you took the time to put it down and actually record it,
I was just listening to.
You never know whether they'll buy it or not.
No, but I have recorded it. Like there have been like many songs from all of my now 5 albums that didn't make the record, that didn't make the cut, and many of them are outside of the box, and that's why they didn't make it, So I definitely go in creatively feeling like I'm gonna do whatever I want to do. And even on some albums like Beautiful, I don't know if anybody here has that album, but it was. Well, so you guys have that. It's completely different from my first album in every way, right? So I do different things, but a lot of people didn't like that, So then you got to say, okay, let me bring it back, and do something that people like a little. You have to do that. It's just a compromise of being in the music business, because I'm not just making music for myself,
So when you say they put you in a box, what would you describe your box as being?
Well, I think initially they put me in a neo soul box, and any true Vivian Green fans will probably not call me that. If you know all my music and all my albums, you probably wouldn't say that's what I am. I've never accepted that, I think I've recorded a couple neo soul songs, but like as a whole, I never thought that's what I was. I think it's R&B music. Sometimes it's like soul, R&B soul pop. I think I go in that direction a lot. Yeah, so that's what I think.
But then you got the little jazz feel to it, too.
And sometimes I go R&B jazz, sometimes I do that,
Yeah. So would you say your box would be more of an emotional vein, because people always say that she got the sad songs. That's what you became known as.
I know, but I think that's like a big misconception, because that's so not who I am. I'm not the sad girl. I just think on those first 2 records that did very well, the singles that they chose to put out was, Emotional Roller Coaster and Gotta Go, Gotta Leave. So that's what people, they sum you up, They sum you up into your singles, which is so unfair because if you listen to my body of work,
but it has helped that you titled some of those songs like...
Shut up. like the Vivian album, like Mad,
right,
Selfish,
exactly.
Damn.
I mean, that helped.
Mad, Selfish, Damn, Frustrated. I think that, I was going through something with that one, y'all. I definitely was. I was like in this crazy situation. And the thing about my first 2 albums, which when I listen to them, it's funny to me because I was very young, especially the first album. I wrote a lot of those songs before I could even drink. And it was about a relationship that I was in, like my first love, like the first person that you think that you love with all your heart and that's who you're gonna be with, and it didn't work out. So it was like me purging, the fail of the first person that I ever truly loved.
Right.
And then the Vivian album was about the rebound guy after him that just went all bad. So that's kind of what happened. But it's like now, because it's so long ago, so now, it's just funny.
That was like your strong drink. That's how
I don't know if I was drinking. I was just mad. And for the Vivian album, I was mad.
That was like your form of getting it out.
Yeah, because you purge. Absolutely, you purge. And for the first album, I was sad. And the second one, I was mad. And then I got it together later on, but then, nobody knew about those albums.
So that made you mad again.
No. No, I'm not mad at all. Not even a little bit.
Yeah, so now you got the new album that's about to come out.
Yes.
Vivid.
Now
that's an interesting twist for Vivian Green. Have you guys heard Get Right Back to My Baby, the new single? That thing is off the chain there. That's a party record right there.
I know, it's my first one. It's so cool because DJs ask me to come to the club now, host and stuff.
You said what?
I said DJs ask me to come to the club and host and stuff now.
Really?
Yeah, you don't really get that with ballads, you know what I mean? Because if a DJ ain't playing a record in the club, he ain't gonna invite you to the club, So it's true. So it's very different, and I love it. I love the energy of it. I love how people have been responding to it. It was #1 most added the first week it impacted at radio.
Yeah.
It was just #1 on Heart and Soul Sirius XM last weekend, the countdown.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we're moving up the charts like that.
So how'd you shift over into the lane that you're in? You're out of your box and now you're in a new lane.
Yeah, well, Kwame, who produced this entire album, he had, he wasn't having the slow, sad songs pretty much. He was like, we can do a couple, but it's not, you're gonna make music that's empowering. It's not just gonna be sad. We're not doing that. And Kwame just so happens to his music is very energetic, even if it is a ballad, it has some kick to it, because that's just how we produce it. So when we first got in the studio, it was not the easiest experience. we were bumping heads a lot, we weren't agreeing, and he felt strong about how he felt, and I have a strong personality. I definitely felt strong about how I felt, and it took a minute for us to just mesh well, and then really start to really create, this project, which I love, by the way. And he was right about many things. As Get Right Back to My Baby is doing well, and I fought him tooth and nail on that. And he was right. He's right there. You gonna come up here?
Oh, Kwame, ladies and gentlemen, Kwame. Only you.
Well, yeah, so many of you may not know, because Kwame is definitely he's a quiet kind of producer, but since the very early 2000s, if not just before then, he's been a music producer, and he's produced music for Mary J. Blige, Keisha Cole, Christina Aguilera, Will Smith, Lloyd Banks, Eminem. His discography is very long. You can look it up on Wikipedia if you get a moment. So give him some love, y'all. I know he's been in the business for 25 years. It's definitely not an easy business to be in. So just for him to transform himself and continue to, thrive. I just think it's amazing. There's something about him that I really do admire because he was successful as this and now he's successful as that. And he's still very much an artist. He still will do a rap show and love it while he's up there on stage just because that's what he loves, you know? So I love that about working with him. I admire that about him.
Did he tell you to say that?
No.
It sound like you're trying to get a free record or something. How'd y'all hook up anyway to start producing?
Well, a mutual friend of ours thought that we would work well together, and that's how it happened pretty much. Yeah. What, you want more to the story?
It sounds like there's more to that story than just that. You know, a mutual friend of ours, you know, he thought we worked well together, so we just went on ahead and put some songs together. There's more to that story.
The story, what's the story?
There we go, yeah.
Yeah, I'm asking you.
So Algebra is a mutual friend, and when I was producing Algebra's last album, she was like, well, you would really enjoy working with Vivian. And I'm like, I don't know, I want to mess with all that slow stuff, man, I can't. And so she kind of linked it up, and I think I was slow to the draw, because what did I do? I hit you on Twitter.
Yeah.
And she hit me with the straight industry, well, my album is done already, but maybe next time you can submit some beats. I'm like, word, you gonna hit me with that?
Submit some beats.
So, no, but it was something like that. And then, what, about a year later? It was about a year later, you were working.
It's not the full truth, though. Anybody who bought the Green Room album, we had already mixed and mastered and turned it in, and that's when he reached out to me. So it was an honest answer. I was really finished. I wasn't throwing you shade.
It ain't finished until it's on them shelves.
Uh-oh.
Nah, she was done. The first single was about to come out, right? The first single was out.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, so everything was done.
And Still Here was out at that point as well.
So I just, I thought she brushed me off. She gave me the straight up industry, I'm doing my thing. And then you hit me back about a year later when you wanted to start up a new
when
album.
I started again, I was like, hey, what's up? I'm starting on the next project, so send me some music.
And then I sent her beats, and she didn't like none of them.
Wow.
It's not like she didn't like them. She was like, these are so different. How can I sing over these?
Kwame, he can be very unorthodox in the way they produce, and that's a good thing. I just wasn't used to it. I had to get acclimated to his way because it wasn't the music that I was used to, writing to. So that's all. But I mean, I think it ended up being a great marriage of music in the end.
Your writing process, did you write most of this album, Vivian?
I did, yeah.
So we
wrote together as well, because Kwame is still a great writer. So he wrote the hook to Get Right Back to My Baby. Mm-hmm, absolutely.
So
I wrote the verses.
When you write, do you listen to music when you write?
I listen to it really loud for a minute, and then I stop it, and I start writing. And once I think I have the verse section written down, I'll play it and sing it and see if I like it. And if not, I'll stop it again. I don't just keep the music on constantly. I have to stop it for a minute to think and see what I want to come up with. But once I'm familiar with it, I can stop the music and
So
write
usually, does it come from a thought or something that happened?
I think very early on, it was like I started writing songs when I was 11. So I was just making stuff up because I ain't been through nothing.
Right.
I hadn't been through anything at that point, so I was just making things up. And then, as I got older and started to go through some things, I started to totally write about me and my experiences. I think many times the songs that you guys hear are about me, definitely. But also, I take from life around me as well. So, I have friends and family and, sisters and best friends. And so it depends. But I can definitely be inspired by somebody else's life. So sometimes it's my own and sometimes not.
So tell me the story about the single, Get Right Back to My Baby. How'd that come to be?
Well, Kwame made the track, and I wasn't into it because I had never sang over a sample like that before. And I just didn't think that it was for me, I just didn't. And he was like, I'm telling you. Do you want to tell some? Okay.
He's not going to keep telling the story. This your album. You
and he
tell
was
the
like,
story.
well, it's his label, so it's kind of his album. I'm just saying. So, but anyway, we fussed about it pretty much, I didn't think it was for me. He thought it was, and there was a lot of back and forth, me writing things that he didn't like, him writing things that I didn't like, and eventually, after definitely a couple days, it wasn't done in a day, after a couple of days, we came up with some good stuff. So yeah.
So now that
that was our first boxing match, and
yes, but now that it has some success, have you apologized to him?
no, I will never.
That ain't even right. Right, you get right back to your baby. That's what it is. I think we're ready for some Q&A.
Okay.
Hey Vivian, thanks for being here. I've been a fan of yours for a very long time, and
Thank you.
I have listened to the totality of your music, and I know that throughout the course of your career, a lot of your albums have had like themes. You know, the first one, as you kind of alluded to earlier, kind of like the love story. The second one, a little upset and mad at the world because of what was going on. I'm very curious to know what will be the theme of this next album that you're going to be producing out.
I think the albums just end up having those themes. I don't necessarily plan it. So in the end, this one is, to me, I think it's very empowering, especially for women. I think it is. Nothing is angry. Sometimes it's very in your face. Even if it's something sad, you're not gonna cry. You know, you're gonna be empowered to move on and not be bitter. And then there's inspirational things that are also inspirational songs that are also empowering, that have nothing to do with love. So yeah, that's what I think about this one, because that's where I think I am, well, I know I am in my life right now. So it's a grown-up perspective, where the first two albums was, you know, think you're grown but not really grown yet. You know, that under 25 age where you think you know it and you don't know anything. That's, yeah, so this is different.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us tonight, Vivian. Okay. Two things. You and I have similar names of children.
Jordan?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That's
and the second thing is, how much of an influence is your child towards your music? And I mean, is there more of a sense of urgency behind your music?
No.
You know, because he's here, and you know.
No, well, he's 11 now, so I wouldn't say that. I think my son, I have a son who was born with the unknown syndrome. I know some of you may know, some of you may not, but the journey, which is why I had that long hiatus between 2005 and 2010. I just had to be a mom and not do music for a minute. But being his mom is just it just gives me like this crazy strength, like every day, like to do anything. So I can't specify it to music or this or that. Like, he just makes me overall very, very strong. You have to be strong to be his mom. But he's a super cool kid. He's around here somewhere, too, by the way.
Like they're playing all our Apple products.
He will talk you to death. He won't shut up, I'm telling you.
So, you know, that's a great segue before we get to the next question about your foundation. Speak on that a little bit.
Oh, I'm putting out a PSA called the I Am Different, I Am Human campaign. And being Jordan's mom, one of the things that like gets to my soul more than anything is how people don't treat special needs people as if they are human beings. You know, he goes out in public and people stare or they point, and like, how would it hurt us if we just smiled and said, hi, how are you, you know, and instead of the pointing, staring, and ridiculing, because it bothers them, you know, and they have to live their lives just like we do, and every time they go out into public, they have to go through that. So the PSA is really simple, just Jordan and other children like him who are different saying, hi, my name is Jordan, I'm different, but I'm human. And then, hi, my name is Michael, I'm different, but I'm human. So yeah, I'm excited about it. Yeah. Thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
I just want to know, in the near future, is there anybody you want to collaborate with as an artist?
I don't know. It's always a hard question for me to answer, honestly. Right now, I can't say. I don't have anyone.
Well, she always wanted to work with me on a record. You know.
Well, Kwame is actually on the album. He actually is about halfway through. When the album slows down a little bit, he introduces the first.
Don't talk about it. They got to get it when it come out.
Oh, you know, I'm not gonna say what you say. I'm just okay. He's on it. He's on the album.
I'm on the album now. I'm on the album. So y'all make sure y'all get Vivid. August the 7th, right?
August 7th, yes.
August 7th. Y'all make sure you get Vivid. Pre-order is July 10th. So put that in your iPhone.